Hi, and welcome to this video tutorial in which I'll be giving you a brief introduction to regular expressions. And what a regular expression is regular expressions are a tool for working with text patterns, and regular expressions are a way of specifying a set of strings that satisfy some conditions. Now, what I've got over here are some meta characters that are used in regular expressions, and what a meta character is simply a character with a special meaning to the software that's interpreting the regular expression. The characters here I've got are an asterisk, and the asterisk means 0 or more repetitions. The plus means 1 or more repetitions. The question mark means 0 or 1 repetitions. The bar here means OR. And these curly parentheses just group regular expressions together, and this will all become a bit clearer in a second when I do some examples. So my first example then, I'm just going to write a regular expression here, and I'm going to go through what it means. So I've got this regular expression here, and I've got A or B here in the first set of parentheses, then I've got a question mark, then in the second set of parentheses I've got C or D, and then a plus. So if we just take a look at this part of the regular expression here in between the red square brackets for a second, and I'll explain what this part means. So this part means A or B. So we've got our question mark here. It means we can have 0 or 1 repetitions of A or B in our string for the regular expression, for the string to be valid. So what a regular expression is doing is it's checking if a string meets some certain criteria, and this means that in the first part of our string that we're checking with this regular expression, it can have 0 or 1 repetitions of A or B. So that means in practice that we can have nothing. This could just have nothing to begin with. We could just move straight onto here, or we could have an A or a B. Now let's look at this part of the regular expression here, the second part, and I've again got 2 letters and an OR, this time C or D. But instead of a question mark this time I've got a plus, and the plus means 1 or more repetitions. In the second part of the string that we're checking, we can have either 1 C or 1 D, or any number of C's or any number of D's, but it can't be 0 C's or 0 D's because this is 1 or more repetitions. So I'm just going to give you some examples of strings that would be acceptable by this regular expression then. So one string that this regular expression would accept would be A, D, D, D. And the reason it would accept that string is that to begin with here we've got 0 or 1 repetitions of A or B. And at the beginning of my string I've got 1 repetition of A, so that's acceptable. And in the second part of my regular expression I've got 1 or more repetitions of C or D, and here I've got 3 repetitions of D, and therefore this string is acceptable. Another string that would be acceptable would be simply C. And the reason that would be acceptable is because in this part of the regular expression I've got 0 or 1 repetitions of A or B, so I don't actually have to have an A or a B in my acceptable string. I do however have to have a C or a D, and I've got 1 C here, so that would be acceptable, and because it meets that part, the criteria of that part of the regular expression, as well as that part. And another string that would be acceptable would be B, C. And that's because we've got one repetition of b, so it satisfies this part of the regular expression here, and we've got one repetition of c, so it satisfies this part of the regular expression here. So that is also acceptable. What would not be acceptable is a string, say for example b, b, d. And the reason that wouldn't be acceptable is because we've got multiple instances of b at the beginning of the string, and because we've got a question mark here, we're only allowed 0 or 1 repetitions of a or b, so that's not acceptable. Okay, I'm going to go on to look at another example of a regular expression. Okay, so here's a regular expression, and this is another example, and for the first part of the regular expression here, I am allowed 0 or more repetitions of x, y, or z. And for the second part of the regular expression here, I'm allowed 0 or 1 repetitions of f or g. So let's have a look at what some strings that this regular expression would accept then. So one string that would be acceptable to this regular expression would be y, 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 f. And the reason that will be acceptable is because in the first part of the regular expression I can have x, y, or z and 0 or more repetitions of x, y, or z, and I've got 3 repetitions of y, so that meets that part of the criteria. And in this part of the regular expression here, I can have 0 or 1 repetitions of f or g, and I've got 1 repetition of f. So this string meets the criteria of this regular expression here. Another string that would be acceptable is z, 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 g. And this is similar to this one, except only that I've got 3 z's here, which meets the criteria for this part of the regular expression, because I've got 3 repetitions of z, and I've got 1 repetition of g, which meets this part of the regular expression. Another string that would be valid is z, 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 and that's because I've got, just like this string here, I've got 3 repetitions of z, so it meets the criteria of the first part of the regular expression. But I don't have to have a f or a g at the end of my string for it to be accepted, because I can have 0 or 1 repetitions of f or g. So this is also acceptable. One regular expression that wouldn't be accepted is x, f, f. And the reason that wouldn't be accepted is because it does satisfy the first part of the regular expression. I've got 0 or more repetitions of x, but it doesn't satisfy the second part of the regular expression because I've got 2 repetitions of f, where I'm only actually allowed 0 or 1 repetitions of f. So that's just 2 examples there of of regular expressions that are used to check if a particular string is valid, and these are the meta characters that you need to know that will be used in your exam questions. Thanks for watching.